Good evening and welcome to Hot News. We are live on Pan-African Television. We are also live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. Those of you watching us on Facebook can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. If you're watching us, you can send in your views, comments, and contributions on our WhatsApp text line. We'll make a time and read all those up for you. My name is Justice Appiah, and tonight on Hot News, we are looking at a very important issue. You recall that former President John Dramani Mahama, during his campaign tour, has accused the New Patriotic Party government of failing to deal with corruption. For that reason, the New Patriotic Party held a press conference which was addressed by the General Secretary of the party, responding to former President John Dramani Mahama. That triggered the National Democratic Congress to hold a press conference yesterday, which was addressed by the National Communications Officer of the party, Sami Jemfi, and they have been addressing, the issues raised by the New Patriotic Party in of course, their press encounter. They responded to the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. John Buedu. They've also responded to the Director of Communications for the party, Yabuabena Samoa, and they've responded to Mr. Gabi Ochredakon as well for their responses to former President John Dramani Mahama. Let's listen to what the National Democratic Congress has been saying. When we come back, I introduce my guest for the discussion to start.
Or perhaps sheer impudence, driven by the intoxications of political power, for this same John Buedu to mount a moral horse and talk about corruption today. We are calling on John Buedu and other MPP functionaries who are alleged to be neck deep in the destruction of our forests and water bodies through their illegal mining activities to come out and clear their sullied reputations first, before gathering the moral high ground to pontificate about corruption. We can understand why people like John Buedu is pained and petrified by President Mohammed's call for Ghanaians to vote out the MPP in 2024 so they can be held accountable for their unprecedented thievery and corruption. Clearly, John Buedu knows that he cannot pass the accountability test when his role in that infamous missing excavator scandal and the illicit galamsey trade is scrutinized. We wish to remind John Buedu that the day of accountability may tarry, but it will surely arrive. And I'm sure you even remember that at some point, somebody was arrested who said he was a driver of John Buedu and who was actively engaged in illegal mining. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have also not forgotten the galamsey fraud expose by ace investigative journalist Anas Arimiyawa Anas, in which a presidential staffer and secretary to the then Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, Charles Bissiou, was caught on tape taking bundles of money, taking bribes to promote illegal mining activities of some foreigners and their local MPP collaborators. Before I move forward, on the PDS one, there is another tape, just about 30 seconds, examples of very clear corrupt practices that have gone unpunished to base their conclusions on. Ghanaians are aware of the fact that President Akufo-Addo has flattered to deceive on his 2016 campaign promise to protect the public purse when elected. In fact, we are all aware of how President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, who once professed to be incorruptible, have made corruption the most attractive venture in Ghana today and have turned out to be the biggest enablers and promoters of corruption. Friends from the media, Ghanaians have not forgotten how in the year 2017, 5 million liters of contaminated fuel belonging to the state, belonging to you and I, was sold by BOST to unregistered and unlicensed entities moving Pina Energy and Zoop Oil in breach of the National Petroleum Act and the Public Procurement Act. And the proceeds pocketed by entities involved and the accomplices in the Akufo-Addo Bawumia MPP government. And here, I'm sure you all remember this particular corruption scandal. And it is sad for me to tell you that as we speak, the money that these phony, fraudulent companies had to pay to us, you breached the MPA Act in selling the products to them. That's fine. You breached the PPA Act. You sold the product to them as scrap. That's fine. But at least the monies that the buyers are supposed to pay to the seller, in this case, the government of Ghana, at least pay that one so that we can get money to develop it.
He also touched on the inflation of prices of personal protective equipment supplied to senior high students and the corruption that characterized the saga.
How many secondary school children do we have in Ghana? How many face masks, the 1 cedi face mask, and hand sanitizers were distributed to them? And as a patriotic Ghanaian, ask yourself, whether even if these items, face masks, Veronica buckets, hand sanitizers, were made of gold and diamond, these outrageous, hyper-inflated expenditures are justifiable. $100 million, which is some way, somehow, the same amount they have allocated for their so-called Agenda 111 project. So $100 million for hospitals, 111. But the same $100 million for face masks, Veronica buckets, and hand sanitizers.
Was the National Communications Officer of the Opposition National Democratic Congress. He has mentioned some corruption-related activities that this government has engaged in. But briefly, I would want to read the responses he gave to Honorable Yabuabena Samoa and that of Gabi Ochedakun and the General Secretary of the the New Patriotic Party. Then I'll introduce my guest, and it reads: we have invited you here this afternoon to formally respond to some irresponsible and frivolous attacks that the New Patriotic Party, through some of its key functionaries, has been heaping on the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama over factual comments he made during his recent thank you tour to 5 northern regions. As you may be aware, last Tuesday, President John Dramani Mahama wrapped up the first phase of his thank you tour, which took him to 5 regions in the northern sector of the country. The tour is designed to convey his deep appreciation personally to the millions of Ghanaians who voted him across the country, and even those who may not have voted for him but deemed it necessary to enhance Ghana's democracy through their participation in the electoral process. Mr. Mahama also took time during the tour to engage in media interviews, during which he commented on a number of issues of national importance. Among others, he decried the mismanagement of the economy and the unstable debt hole the Akufo-Addo government has plunged the country into, and the resultant economic hardships emanating from their imposition of several taxes on Ghanaians. He also lamented the rising speed of corruption in government and the nonchalantance that has attended the subject. He observed that the Akufo-Addo government was simply unwilling to account for their stewardship and was not motivated to fight corruption, which has led to large-scale looting and abuse of public purse. It had become obvious in the circumstance that the only way to exert any measure of accountability is to vote out the New Patriotic Party after their 8-year tenure in 2024, which would be in keeping with the established electoral trend since 1992. In fact, President Mahama echoed the sentiment of the vast majority of Ghanaians who feel scandalized by the unbridled corruption and plain thievery that has become a hallmark of the Akufo-Addo government. The alarming scale after their 8-year tenure in 2024. Anything short of that will spell doom for the public purse, which will be subjected to further systematic abuse should their mandate be renewed beyond 2024. Clearly, these factual statements made by former President John Dramani Mahama have hit the bull's eye. Our detractors in the New Patriotic Party are dazed. Factual statement by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because they know he spoke the naked truth. It is obvious that they are very worried about how President Mahama is exposing the truth, who rode on the back of a self-proclaimed propaganda of incorruptibility into power, only to turn around and supervise the most obscene abuse of the public purse ever witnessed in the history of this country. First to respond was the MPP Communications Director, Buabena Samwa, who staged a performance reminiscent of the heydays of Comical Ali, the legendary Iraqi information minister, infamous for the denial of very obvious facts and truths. Mr. Samwa inexplicably claimed that the excruciating economic hardships Ghanaians are going through has only been spoken into place by President Mahama and that it was not being felt by Ghanaians. In other words, all the taxes introduced by this government since 2017 and the rampant increases in fuel prices and every other commodity on the market leading to hardships are just the words of President Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that Mr. Buaben's comical display is amusing as it is disturbing. It is amusing because it demonstrates the willingness of this government to trivialize the suffering of the people, and it is disturbing because it shows that the MPP and their leaders have completely detached themselves from the very harsh economic conditions of Ghanaians and chosen to dwell in a delusional bubble. Clearly, they are living in their own world of luxury and comfort, far removed from the realities in the country. It bears reminding the Akufo-Addo government that the economic difficulties of Ghanaians are not the product of the imaginary or delusional fantasy of members of the opposition. The economic hardship Ghanaians from all walks of life are experiencing are the direct effect of the mismanagement of the economy through reckless squandering of scarce resources to secure re-election in 2020, which has left our finances in shambles. The excessive and reckless borrowing of Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia government has ensured that we are barely able to service our debt, pay the salary of public sector workers, and have anything significant left to meet critical expenditure. That is why over half of a dozen different taxes were introduced in the 2021 budget loan to plug the hole they have created in the economy. These taxes, coupled with other bad policies of the government, have conspired to increase prices of fuel, food commodities, building materials, and cost of living in general to unbearable proportions without any commensurate increment in incomes. The MPP must take responsibility for the consequences of their insensitive and poor economic management decisions and refrain from the ludicrous display of willful blindness put up by Buaben Asamoah. Next in line to respond to President Mahama was Gabia Sayoche, a self-styled puppet, master of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, who likes to conceal his role behind a veneer of non-involvement, and the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. John Boadu. It is clear from a cursory examination of the above ridiculous positions that these are men who appear to be haunted by their own shadows, even though the touch of accountability is yet to be shown on them. Ochedako, on his part, took umbrage at President Mahama's advice to Ghanaians to vote out the MPP if they want anyone held accountable for the dizzying levels of corruption being perpetrated. Boadu also claimed that there is no evidence to President Mahama's claim the government is corrupt. He goes on and on and on and on and on. By joining the conversation, by sending your views, comments, and contributions on our WhatsApp/text line displayed on the screen, we'll make a time and read all those out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. My name once again is Justice Appiah, and tonight on Hot News I'll be joined in the studio by Member of Parliament for Sisala West constituency in person of Honorable MOHAMMED SUKPARU. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a while.
How are you doing? I'm doing well.
Very well. How's the constituency?
So far they are doing well.
Very well. When last did you go there?
I'm now, I returned from the constituencies just last month on 27th, so I'm now putting myself together to go back to the constituency. And so this weekend, God willing, I'll be in my constituency.
Very well, very well. So Sisala West constituents, watch out. Your MP would certainly be in the constituency, or definitely within the week or on the coming weekend. Also in the studio is MUJEEB RAHMAN, who is a member of the New Patriotic Party communications team. MUJEEB, good evening.
Good evening, Justice.
It's been a while,
yeah. You know I'm around, but you know the reason yourself.
I've been away for same reason for some time anyway. The reason is I still have the toll on me.
You're answering yourself. You know that it's not easy. It's not easy. So
how's everything?
We are just at the tail end of it, so we are just pushing hard to just get out of this. And then
I'll say I'm now getting to the middle of it. So I mean, anyway, but we shall succeed no matter what. Anyway. But I'll start with you, MUJEEB, on the issue of former President John Dramani Mahama accusing government of not having the will to fight corruption under your government, and also the fact that Ghanaians are living under hard economic situations and all of that. Your party has responded to the former president by saying that he doesn't have any evidence or whatsoever to have mentioned all those things he said. The question is, do Ghanaians need evidence to say that they are living in economic hardship? Do you think that Ghanaians need evidence to be able to tell that the New Patriotic Party government led by President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia is corrupt? Your take and your answers on that.
You asked. Thank you very much, Justice. Thank you to your viewers out there. You've asked one question, but which demands two answers. You asked first the statement made by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana. Statement is made during his thank you tour to the people of Ghana, especially in the northern part of the country. And again, asked me as a member of the New Patriotic Party whether we are justified to want to say that the economy has been improved and things have been made better vis-a-vis the living conditions of the people of Ghana. Just as I think that if you were the one saying it, or if you were the one said it, I think that probably the narration would have been different. But you see, we are looking at...
Would it be from
but I'm coming. If you could allow me to build my point. If you are looking at the persona, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, former President of the Republic of Ghana, has been there and should understand what is governance about. I hope you are getting the point, especially when he was the president. Some of the things that is accusing the current government of, especially the President of the Republic of Ghana, were the very things that he suffered. So the press conference of the New Patriotic Party was seeking to let him understand, probably if he has forgotten, for us to remind him of where we are coming from and who exactly he is. I think that was why the New Patriotic Party General Secretary press conference responded to the statements of the former president. But I think that, Justice, let's be very candid to ourselves. When it comes to the issue of corruption, first of all, I just always ask anybody who I engage in a discussion on corruption matters. First, we are human beings. And being a president, you have to hire people ministers, deputy ministers, etc., to help you govern the country. You can't do it alone. Even per the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, you are not expected to do it alone. You expect to hire people. But you see, you can also try to, like, even sometimes you, because of lobbying nature and other things, you appoint the people without even sometimes knowing their background or having, even though maybe probably National Security or BNI would have also done their checks.
Right.
But my point is, it happens to most of the presidents that came. President Kufuor, President Mills, John Mahama, and then it also seems to happen. But my point now is, when it comes to the issue and the ability to confront the issues is what we should be talking. As for the issue of alleged corruption cases, Masa, we should be serious as a people, as a political learners, political commentators to the people of this country. But I sometimes look at it as if that whether we seems not to be taking the Ghanaian person or the Ghanaian people as a serious people. You have been elected to mend and improve the life of the people of this country. It is not, the presidency is not a place to joke. I hope you are getting the argument. Kwame, that is why, Justice, if there's any corrupt allegation, as far as I know, and many more of your viewers are aware, that any issue of corruption is alleged in this current government, headed by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, immediately investigation is caused into that matter by the agencies that are required to do it, be it CID, Criminal Investigation Department, National Security, NIB is now National what? National Investigative what? Or BNI formal is now NIB. So all these issues are there. And as far as I know, Justice, and listening to the communication director of the National Democratic Congress, on some officer, on some of the issues he raised, especially with the boss case that happened to the early stages of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo first term in government. I know, and it's still fresh in my memory, that this issue was investigated by National Security and BNI.
What was the finding?
Oh, the findings exonerated the then chief executive at Bost, the director general there. I forgot.
Why then did, at the time, Honorable Bacheja talked about the fact that if the dust settled, he was going to come out with some information. No. It wasn't with regards to that particular issue.
It wasn't.
But what was that statement about?
You asked a question. Let me answer you.
Okay,
it was in relation to the Bost issue. It was related to his own sacking from government. That was where people were on him to come out and also tell the people of Ghana what he knows about what was being discussed around that time. Because about was it the ICA or whatever contract negotiation issue? It wasn't about...
Was it not the energy minister?
It was the energy minister. But it was not because of what happened at Boss that he was sacked. It was not the energy... That was not the issue. So get that difference clear. So his statement that when the dust settled, he will talk. You can check, my brother. You can check. These are two different issues. So it was very exact. It was on the Ameri issue. It was on the Ameri issue. So it was investigated. And the reports were being made clear to the people of Ghana, exonerating the Director General or the Chief Executive, Alfred Oben, at that level. So that is the state institutions. And he mentioned other areas. Everything or every issue that Sami Jemfi mentioned, these issues were being investigated. And as a media man, I always challenge you people. You can also find out exactly what the findings are. If you think you don't have it or you haven't seen it, you can go to the police, especially with the agents that has done the investigation. It is the right of the people to know. I hope you are getting the argument. So for me, it is enough for me to understand, and many more viewers to understand, that Ghanaians are still aware of what took place before the 2016 elections.
What happened?
Especially when it comes to issues of corruption. I hope you understand. When it comes to issues of corruption, if I thought that maybe you would have also played the press conferences that was held by the New Patriotic Party, read by the General Secretary, for the viewers so that to update them, but you decided to play the current one, the NDC's own. But you see, I can mention them, for instance, in that press conference, the issue of the Ford Expedition saga has been mentioned. And now, because of that statement made by former President John Dramani Mahama, the Airbus saga is now resurrecting. It is coming. I have seen on social media other people talking about it, others even saying I'm coming. Okay. Oh, just I
need to ask you a question as well.
But George, when I finish, because when you interrupt that, you distort my
you
thought.
Go ahead.
I hope you are getting the argument. So there are many issues that happen in terms of corruption, and that caused the defeat of the former president in the 2016 elections. So he thought he could have come on the heels of corruption against the current president in 2020 election, and that didn't work. But for the issues of alleged corruption and other issues, I think that people will always allege, and it is the duty of those alleging to prove. And even when they are not coming forth with their evidence, but the state institution asked by the president.
How many of those you have talked about that you have been able to prove as a party?
The two chief of staffs that A+
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you that the New Patriotic Party has alleged Airbus scandal.
Yes.
The New Patriotic Party has alleged the confirmed issue.
Yes.
The New Patriotic Party has alleged several other corruption-related activities that happened.
Yes.
And the former President John Dramani Mahama. How many of these have you been able to prove?
No, but the reality on the matter, is just like what is happening now, and I'm telling you. So just as you know how the whole things happen like corruption, it's so bad that nobody, no minister or no president even want to hear corruption associated to your administration or government. But to have the nerve and the courage that, okay, I and my brother are serving in this government, and we have been accused by justice that ABCD has happened. To the extent that the president is not waiting for you to bring evidence, and even calls the investigative bodies in this country to investigate us and find out the truth or otherwise of the matter. That alone is commendable. And I think that is commendable. So it is out of the findings that will vindicate us or actually indict us based on the evidence, based on the findings of the investigations. That is how it is.
But the New Patriotic Party has alleged several corruption-related issues that happened under former President John Dramani Mahama. Now you are in power, and you have been there for the past 5 years. Why haven't you been able to prosecute even a single person under former President John Dramani Mahama?
No, but
for engaging
if you say a single person, that would not be total right. Because
so who have you been able to prosecute?
As far as I know, some people are still going through the prosecution process.
Who are those people?
The former chief executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Opuni, and the others they are on trial now. And I know of National Communication Authority. Some people were being tried, others were being. So I think prosecution has happened. But you see, if you also listen to the former Attorney General and Justice, you also understand. Now you are first year in the law school, so you have now
going to second year.
You are going to second year, so you have taken through the criminal law 1 and law 2. You understand the prosecution system in this country, or in general. It is not easy. It is not easy to build the docket. And let me tell you, any person, even at your own private level, private lawyer, that who is going to court always want to win the case. And prosecution, when it comes to national at the national level, Attorney General level, it is very expensive, and you have to be sure as a government that this trial I'm going, at the end of the day, I will secure a victory for the state. You just don't go and trying to prosecute because of prosecution's sake. No, let's leave, when it comes to the reality, let's leave the politics aside. You have to build your facts and make sure you get to that level. And I don't understand. And you see, crime doesn't decay and crime doesn't spoil.
Right.
And I understand. If you listen to the current Attorney General, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, he sounded the alarm bell that many more people will soon be hauled to our cause because of financial malfeasance in this country, as others are going through now.
Now, the conversation is that if you take the previous government, we are not talking about commitment in fighting the canker.
Yeah.
If you take the previous government, they have been able to prosecute their own. And we can talk of Honorable Abugapele, who has recently been granted pardon by the president. Right? Now, people are of the view that under the New Patriotic Party, because you don't have the commitment to fight corruption, you are unable to even fight your own. Don't forget that the former special prosecutor, Martin Amidu, has alleged corruption under the New Patriotic government, of which he has given a name to the president as the mother serpent of corruption. Can you boldly say here on this platform that there have not been corruption related activities under your government? Are you saying that your appointees are not corrupt?
No, but if you had listened to my submission, I am not denying the fact that there hasn't been alleged corrupt issues.
Let's be factual. Are you saying that appointees under the New Patriotic Party government, led by President Adanko Akufo-Addo, you wouldn't have 2 or 3 amongst them who are corrupt?
But if you allege, Master, let us be very professional here. You just don't accuse somebody because
I'm asking a simple question.
There has been alleged cases. I hope you are getting the argument. And these cases has been investigated. Even my point is, what was the purpose of the creating the office of the special prosecutor justice? It was in furtherance of fighting corruption in this country. That office doesn't belong to the president. That office is a state office, independent. I hope you are getting the argument.
Is it really
within me, I am convinced that Martin Amidu would have been the best person at that time to even take some of the issues that he knew or has heard or has caused as investigated
interference from government officials and
even ask Justice, let's be fair, who apart from the issue of Mama Yarga, I can't remember any case Martin Amidu has taken to court since he became a special prosecutor till his resignation. Apart from Mama Yarga, who has he prosecuted? Who has he taken to court? But he has investigated many cases. And Justice, look, go to court. Come and tell the people of Ghana that the president or whoever the person is interfering in the process, and let Ghanaians judge. But you don't chicken out and try to label allegations for who to come and fight it. So, you are a citizen of Ghana. And we know your track records. You have been given a position, and it's independent. Have you looked at the act, the Special Prosecutor Act? Nobody could have been able to tie the hands of Martin Amidu to cause any prosecution in this country. If he believed that what he has done, he believed that he can secure conviction in the court.
Some people also believe that these committees, you are saying that government instituted to probe some of these allegations of corruption are committees that were influenced by government. For that reason, the name given to the president as the clearing agent, and that the president is in a position or has been in a position to clear his appointees anytime issues or allegations of corruption is raised against his people. How would you respond to that?
That is the opinion of the people. But if it's about CID, they have investigated. Their report is before the president.
Not all the issues are investigated by the CID, you know.
If you have a contrary view or a contrary evidence, you challenge their report. But not until then. We have no option than to go with the report by the investigation agencies. Unless, of course, maybe you, my brother, or any other person can produce another contrary evidence that this is exactly what has happened. So per what these people have given us, whether it's BNI, National Security, or CID, it's contrary to the evidence we are having. Then we can probe the issues further. But not until then, Justice. We can people are entitled to their opinion, but we have the laws of the land, and the laws have to be working. They are really working, and that is how it's supposed to be. Just for example, if you are accused of A, B, C, you don't just be condemned from the beginning. You'll be given the opportunity to also explain what you know about the allegations that has been leveled against you.
I'll come back to you.
That is exactly the issue. So, but that is on the corruption aspect. But
I'll come back to you once again. We are not done with the corruption. We are not done with the corruption aspect.
I know.
And let me ask you this briefly.
I thought I could answer the next question.
Which committee cleared the PPA, allegations of corruption and all of that? Because the National Democratic Congress has mentioned the PPA issue in their statement. They've also mentioned PDS. You recall that the minister at the time even talked about the fact that the deal at the time was fraudulent because there was some forgery of documents and all of that. They mentioned some other allegations of corruption, but on these two, which committee cleared
this
on
the issue of the PDS? I think that what they are asking for within the period PDS operated, there has been some monies that came in accrued.
Where are those
so exactly. So I think no, that is legitimate. That is legitimate. So we need explanations from PDS or ECG in respect of that matter. But because government was more diligent on the transactions, that is why it was the fraud was detected in the whole contract. And when fraud is detected, the whole thing is what? It's null and void. It can't stand.
Anyway.
That is how it is. So I think that going forward, the act itself, I don't know why.
So
whether it is
PPA balls, which committee cleared it?
No, but I have no answer to that. I'm coming, Honorable. I thought that was it Strike or which organization investigated and came out with that? But to the fact of that singular case, Justice, I don't know how the standing of it at the moment. And I can't say, just like I can say about the Australia case, the two chief of staff exam, etc. I don't have understanding to that effect, even though I know.
I'll come back to you. You respond to the other question of economic hardship. Let me come to
I think I could have add that one.
I'll come back to you.
Oh, okay.
Let me come back to Honorable. Let me come to Honorable.
So now you are now the moderator of the program. So, or you want the whole time?
No, I understand. It's just left with 10 minutes. We've spoken for about 30 minutes. We are left with 10 minutes.
Wow. Yes. But he's the cause of it because he was reading press conference.
But I thought
he was reading press conference. He was reading press conference. So
I'll plead with my director to give me some more time for us to digest the issues properly. Now, Honorable, you have alleged corruption under this government.
Alleged?
Yes, you have alleged corruption under this government. Wow. Because as things are, you've not provided any proof. Until that proof is provided, then we can talk about that. But the issue is, on what basis are you alleging that there's an unbridled corruption under this government?
Okay, so first of all, Justice, let me say a very good evening to our cherished viewers, most especially the good people of Sosala West. Justice, sitting here, see my brother struggling to defend.
Honorable, am I struggling? Am I struggling?
Oh, wow. A mess that has been caused by somebody who has been overhyped to be someone who is anti-corruption, crusader in this country, and for that matter, the Ghanaians voted for him in 2016. And, coming to power, what we are seeing is the different thing altogether. First of all, my brother spoke about the fact that governance, it is not only the president. If I got him right, that was what he said. That president has to, hire people to mount certain position, and that for that matter, he wouldn't be able to do some due diligence to see the background. I heard you citing BNI sometime go around trying to, investigate the people background before reporting to the president and so on. It means that he admitted that there are corrupt, incidents or there are corrupt practices that has happened. But it did not happen from the president himself, but through his appointees. you know, you were here when he said that. He said president appointed people, and that those people, the president wouldn't be able to tell the kind of people they are. He wouldn't be able to do the background check, and the background checks are done by BNI. He said that here. Right. So he admitted that yes, there are corrupt practices currently happening in this country. You know, one funny thing that is happening in this country, and for me, it is something that as people of this country we must take it very serious, is this. You know, the most comic government ever in the history of the Fourth Republic that we ever had is this government. You know, they are trying to take all of us for granted. The fact that, and I will not blame them, the fact that they are able to put certain fear on you, the media, that you are supposed to be exposing them. And so through their, you know, tags and all of that, you know, intimidating media, civil society, anybody that wants to talk about corrupt practices in this country, they come after you. They think they can intimidate everybody, including His Excellency, the former president of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. This thing will not sit down for this to happen. Look, my brother talks about the fact that all these things that our National Communication Officer mentioned in the press conference are all allegations.
Are they not allegations?
No! All these things, there are several of them that are no allegations. Granted. Are you trying to... No, the Australian visa fraud. Are you telling me that it's an allegation? There was an allegation of it. Yes, a committee, a committee was put in place. Please, no, nobody, as a journalist,
Deputy Minister,
as a journalist, have you cited the report of that committee? I just asked you,
as a citizen,
no,
have you also requested?
No, if you say I should request in Ghana, right? This is a public issue. This is a public issue. This is something very, very important to the good people of this country.
Right.
And when investigations are conducted, when report is being prepared, what you ought to do is you publish the report for everybody to see it. Up until date, nobody, including journalists, have had the opportunity. My good brother sitting here, he has not gotten the opportunity to see the report for himself. Whether those allegations were just fraudulent allegations, where they were just, you know, mere propaganda. Nothing. Government could not come out to tell the good people of Ghana that, you know what, at the end of our investigation, at the end of the committee's report, this ABCD happened. What we saw was that the said deputy minister was read and moved from the Ministry of Youth and Sports to a different ministry. And as we speak, just a week ago, I am surprised to see same person reappointed to mount not any other agency than the National Youth Authority. We're talking about the youth of this country. And for that, we're talking about the future of this country. And so for you to put someone there to be in charge of the youth, you need to put somebody who has integrity, somebody who can be an example to the youth, somebody who can inspire the youth, not someone who has a lot of questions on him unanswered.
Honorable,
to mount.
If you have, if the National Democratic Congress has anything contrary to the findings of the CID,
no, it is not.
You are at liberty to prosecute.
You cannot. We all know. You cannot. No. How can you say? How can you go? You are not the president. President said there was a committee. He referred the matter to a committee to investigate. You, as a citizen, you say you are going to.
A citizen can prosecute.
Nobody. The committee. You have evidence. What kind of even the report? There were people from the ambassador. I mean, the embassy of Australia said that people were sent from Ghana to Australia. Okay. People who were not journalists, they were sent in the name of journalists. You, as a journalist, you were supposed to be there. Few of your guys were there.
Then wait a minute. Are you aware? No.
Justice.
Are you aware that an individual can carry on prosecution with the consent of the Attorney General? Are you aware?
No. Are you aware? Not matters like this. So that is what I'm saying. An individual can blow hostile, can raise an alarm, and ask government to cause investigation. An individual cannot cause an investigation. You can cause investigation through SHRAS and other maybe CID, police, criminal investigation department,
somebody has engaged in corruption.
Yes. So you feel if you feel that please, if you feel that there are things happening here that are not, supposed to happen this way, you can cause an investigation to be conducted. But it is left the particular agency to either come out with the report. And I'm saying that an investigation was caused by the president. We applauded you for that. A report. Let us, in fact, you were in this country when he referred the matter, he made a public pronouncement. He made it look as though he was ready to fight corruption. Yes, go and investigate. After the investigation, come back, tell us what has come out of the investigation. You've not been able to tell Ghanaians what really happened after the investigation. What we are seeing is the guy is still, you are appointed same person, and I'm worried that such a person is being given opportunity to be in charge of National Youth Authority. Put that aside. My brother here spoke about bust, the contaminated fuel. The contaminated fuel, he says it was also an allegation. What kind of an allegation? An allegation after the matter, what happened? Where's Honorable Appiah? Is it not through this same issue that the man was removed from office? So if it was an allegation, there was no any evidence. He didn't do anything. What he did, he was right. Why remove him from office? I asked you a question. Because it was just a mere investigation. It was just a mere allegation. You remove him from office. It means that there was an act of corruption. Is that what the law says? That when somebody is found guilty, just remove him from office, you will not prosecute him? Today, as I speak, he is in parliament with me as a member of parliament. He is representing his constituents. This government, my brother, it is a shame as a citizen of this country, sometimes to sit somewhere when they mention government, you cannot even say anything about this government. Look, there was a Galamsey fight. You remember that Galamsey fight? A committee. He set up a committee, and the committee was chaired by Honorable Charles Bisi. Very well. He was caught red-handed receiving money when he was supposed to be fighting the monies.
They have demanded for the raw tape from...
When you say demanded from the same president, when he was in opposition, says that when given the opportunity to serve this country, he was going to use the analysis. He says the analysis what? Method to fight corruption. So you got the opportunity to rule us. Now, Anas says that I will help you fight corruption. He gave you evidence of your appointee who was involved in bribery and corruption. You said it was just a mere propaganda, demanding for further evidence. I don't get it. What kind of further evidence are you looking for? Put that aside. What does it mean that the men father
I'm just
money on camera? Yes.
The person is engaged in corruption.
No, I married deal. I married.
Okay.
I married the deal that led to the then Minister for Energy exiting from office. You remember?
Right.
When they were in opposition, they said all manner of things about America. They were coming to terminate the contract. They believed that the president at the time did not follow the processes before, blah blah, and all of that. You came to power. You got the opportunity to rule. You said that you were going to renegotiate, and it was going to cost Ghanaians $880 million. Go to my hometown. Go to Sisala West. Go to other constituents, other districts in this country. Go to Upper West, where he is from. Go and see for yourself. People are struggling. Just common road. Well, not even, my brother, it's so pathetic. You were going to use taxpayers' money, $880 million. You get presidential approval, executive approval to the deal for them to go ahead to renegotiate. When the then minority, but for the minority, Ghana would have lost this whopping amount of money, $880 million.
Right.
When they came out with the issue, President came out and said he was misled. If I should come here and mislead you to do something untoward to this noble organization, isn't it a crime?
Unfortunately, I cannot be misled.
No, I'm coming. But he said he was misled. And not even sacking the minister, the minister was asked to honorably resign from his post. And as we speak, he is going about his normal business. Nobody has prosecuted him. Nobody has initiated any prosecution processes for causing or for misleading our president. Do you know, when you talk about misleading, not any other person than the president, it means that the minister could have misled the president to do something to even sell this country. And that is a serious crime that the government should have taken interest. If government wanted to prove to the people of Ghana that indeed His Excellency, the President of the Republic, is ready to fight corruption, he should have started it within his own house. They said all manner of things about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama when he was in government. But we all saw what Mahama did.
What did he do?
Of course, the Jida issue, his own appointee, he initiated the prosecution, and Honorable Abuga Pele was jailed. He did that. Kamana Ado, apart from earning the famous, title attached to His Excellency, the clearing agent title that he earned by clearing his appointee, apart from this, can he tell me one single appointee that he's been able? So are you trying to tell me that all the numerous, more than 20-something scandals, they are all allegations? Even those that he set up commissions.
Committees were set up.
When you say committees were set up, and committees were set up, and I dare him to even come out to publish those committees' reports. Not even a single one has been published. The most recent one as the Ministry of Health, where we paid, I think, about 60 million Ghana cedis.
Right.
Right? The Minister for Health admitted when he appeared before the committee. You all saw it. The Finance Minister was all over defending him. Even the President himself, unfortunately, when he went to the minister's hometown, he said it. And he was not serious. He looked unserious, and he was rather clapping hands for the minister, saying that Ghanaians should sympathize with the minister. Abba, my brother, what kind of government? And so such a president, and you don't want us to talk about. I mean, for me, the most comic government ever in the history of Fourth Republic is this current government. I'm being honest, and I dare him to prosecute a single appointee. He has never done that. All these things he will tell you, oh, it's an allegation, and I'm going to set up a commission of inquiries and all of that. What about commission of inquiries? Look at what happened at Ministry of Health.
Right.
The minister, even at the time, I am telling you, and I'm telling you on authority that even before the minister appeared before the committee, he didn't even know the finance minister had made some payment to the middleman. Are you aware of that? Right. After the committee sitting, when he returned to his office, he was then giving details of the transaction. He didn't even know. The transaction took place between the finance minister and Bank of Ghana. So it was the middleman who raised an alarm that you cannot be doing this without the health minister. He says that, no, you need to get the help. Then the health minister was asked to write a letter expressing interest in acquiring those, what's the name? Vaccines. That's what happened. This is pure corruption. If president or the minister for health, minister for finance is telling me they are not aware of this transaction, so even what happened before the committee, yet what we are seeing is that the minister is on leave. He's relaxing, because go and relax. You didn't do anything. He, the president, and his cousin, the finance minister, they were trying to steal Ghanaians' money as usual. They've been doing. And so you do this, what people want to talk. You come out to say that you do not have the moral right to speak. You don't, and I'm telling you that it is only you, the media. The media, there's some hypocrites, religious leaders in this country, excuse me to say that. That is why I'm saying some. We could hear some big pastors speak when it was about your mama.
Right.
Because a certain president coming from a certain part of country wasn't supposed to be the leader of this country. we could hear all of them say all manner of things. Today, you hardly hear them. Some of them are saying that they're either watching football or watching animals blood lie and all of that. And so they think that, as usual, as we know them, that they can intimidate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. My brother, we are serious people, and we in NDC are going to ensure that we will continue to expose them, and we ensure that we will continue to say the truth as far as corruption and other related matters and this government is concerned. Right. We will not relent our effort in exposing this government. All the ill, transaction, all the thieveries and all of that, we will continue to expose them. We will never be intimidated by that. If the media will not partner NDC for us to expose them so that we can salvage this country from where these people are taking us to, we in NDC are ready to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers. You're watching Hot News right here on Pan African Television with me, Justice Appiah. Keep your messages coming in. Those of you watching us on Facebook can share the Facebook Live for other people to watch tonight's edition of the program. Now, let me go to MUJEEB. MUJEEB, you were about to touch on the issue of economic hardship.
Yeah, but
I want to respond to some few things.
Yeah, I want.
All things are rosy and
no. Justice, please. Nobody said that.
I'm just asking.
No, we can't say things are rosy. When you say things are rosy, then that takes a deeper distance. But at least what we are saying is that we have where we pick this country from.
Where did you pick it?
Before 2017. Before 2017, we were not in government. So when we came to government in 2017, we saw that there were a lot of things that were not adding up. Because we're in opposition, we didn't have the opportunity to know a lot of things, especially with regards to the economy and the amount of money that was borrowed. So government has to find a way of. Then we put these issues we inherited, the weak economy at that time with the IMF in control and all these factors against the promises of the candidate Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, who is now the president.
Okay.
So decisions were made, and we just get to work then to make sure you get the fundamentals and get things right. But unfortunately, at a point, we were hit by COVID. That is why when you refer to the vice president, he said that we have done well, but it isn't that we are saying that, we have solved all the hardships, Ghanaians' problems in this country. No, but a lot of things have been done to cushion the people of this country, just as when other countries are suffering. But people say we shouldn't compare. For Ghana, this period, up to the time, still be able to pay government workers, I think is commendable, and still able to pay the contracts that were entered into by the National Democratic Congress. By the time they left office, there were huge chunks of projects that were going on. But government has to find a pardon. But you didn't pay for those projects, my brother. You didn't pay for those projects. And you didn't leave any money. There was nothing to take care of those projects. But new government came in, continuity. Government has to do well to find money and pay these projects. And how? My brother, you know it.
I'll come to
why? I'm coming to where he was talking about the Upper West Roads. My brother, when we are talking of Upper West Roads, I think that you and I, we are all guilty of it.
What has the Democratic Party government done to cushion the hardship of the good people of Ghana? You were talking about that, you didn't finish.
Yeah, I did. No, but but you jump in. But that is why I'm saying, before, when we came into governance, there were, because of the IMF conditionalities that were in place, recruitment from our brothers, who with the backlog, teachers, nurses, etc., and other staffs were being at home for a longer period of time. But it is the skills that government employed to be able to get ourselves out of the IMF clutches that gave government the opportunity. Today, as we all know, I don't want to talk about what happened, but today you all know just about a month or two ago, government has given clearance, Minister of Finance, to the National Security Interior Ministry to employ security services into the various security services: police, prisons, immigration service, and fire service.
Right.
And Ghana Education Service. Now, a lot of people have been recruited. That is the area of employment. Employment was stagnant in this country for a longer period of time. And you also remember, let me remind you of President meeting addressing Parliament, saying that we have finished the bone, the meat now left with the bone. So it means there was no hope at a point. Master, you see,
unemployment situation is on our ascendancy in this country still.
But you see, we didn't say we have solved unemployment problem into two. Justice. That is not, just nobody will come and say that. But what we are saying is that the creativity with which we are running the government, if others had done that, today we wouldn't have been where we are. And you see, sometimes when you ask us this question, it compels us to do the comparisons.
Yeah, that is what we are
and the employment in this country, so remember, Kufo, that is why we told them that we have been telling them they don't believe anything can happen in this country. That the agenda 111, you know what they said? It can happen. Health insurance, they said it can happen. School feeding, they said it can happen. Free maternal delivery, they say it can happen. What can happen in this country? Tell us. Justice, what can happen in this country? Tell us. You see, that is where we are telling, we are all, when we brought NAPCO, look at the condemnation. And nobody is saying that NAPCO is the final panacea of unemployment problem in this country. But what are you telling the youth? Your brother has finished university, 2-3 years, the person is at home. You are still feeding him as if you are still paying the school fees. I mean, the state has to come in and give these young, innocent people some hope. At least, the household man will say, I can banza ya figidam banza. Just even getting up in the morning, washing down and preparing to go to work, that alone, there's dignity in that. After what comes, because you're going and coming will create opportunity for you one day. So these are some of the things, Justice. But I think that sometimes we have to be very fair to ourselves. There's a lot of monies we borrowed in this country. Government will have to find a way of paying back. You know, that is the system. If you don't pay, you don't rationalize those things, going in to get for money will be a difficulty in this country. So I think that we always ask them, what again so special that you think that when you get the opportunity, you are going to deliver on that to help assuage the suffering of the people of this Ghana, this country. That MPP is not doing. What again? What again? We always throw the question, what again? Former President MAHAMA, what exceptional thing again that he had the opportunity that he didn't do, now he want to come and do it. We felt that Akufo-Addo's administration is borrowed
enough and you have nothing to show for.
What do you mean by nothing to show? What do you mean? No, you see, when you ask these questions, Justice, it's not you alone. Sometimes I have problems with the media in this country. That is why even at a point we brought you a project tracker in this country. If you want to know what government has done, you can go through the tracker. So you know, government came. Akufo-Addo didn't build roads. No road construction is going on. We didn't build schools. So it is my duty. Now you are asking me my duty to go and catalog. So I refer you to the tracker. When you go to the tracker, you see what we have done for the past 4 years.
Tell me on the tracker.
Pardon?
You are telling me about the tracker.
So you are not aware of it?
Tell us.
Oh, man.
The tracker is the tracker. We are looking at existing projects you embarked on. Where are they?
So they are not there. So the people, I think now you stay around APC, or is it what is the name of the area? You are even a beneficiary of what, because now you don't move into traffic. The Pokwase to your area. Now you go, it's a free. The road is there because there's no traffic. Do you ask yourself what happened? The past 4 years, was it like that?
It was started by the previous government.
It was started before 2016. There wasn't anything happening there, my brother. Before 2016, there wasn't anything happening in Pokwase. Oh, there wasn't anything happening there. You know it. So these are some of the things we want us to talk. But
you cannot run away from that was a project that was started by the previous cabinet.
Look, what happened is, if you start a project and predecessor took it and complete it, when you also fail in some aspect and they are telling you fail in that aspect, don't come and be defending it.
Very well.
I hope you get the point. Don't come and be defending it. So I know that governance is a continuation. Exactly. And I am an advocate of a system that will compel successive government to come and continue past government projects. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it is the people of Ghana that pay for those projects.
That's what
so we must benefit.
What credit is
but if it doesn't, what happened? Is the credit for Mahama or is the credit for Akufo-Addo? Whatever it is our money that we are using to pay the project. So if you started it or you use on behalf of Ghana to collect a loan, and then you are using the loan to construct a hospital, so I should come and clap for you. Just as I go and see why Article 174 compel all Ghanaians who are at the age receiving income as to pay tax. You take my tax, you build my road, you construct a borehole, you expect me to come and clap for you. I think that we are getting to a stage that we have to live. We deserve more than that. We deserve more than that.
If we are talking about economic hardship, how many times has fuel been increased in this country?
The fuel politics, I don't want us to go. Today,
to dollar rate. What is it currently?
Look, we don't. You see, Ono who said Maka, I said it here long ago, say somewhere 2004, we saw a demonstration organized by the CJA people, where they went to Accra and Malata market and using blackboard to do calculation. That's all. Because the rest doing fuel calculation. Why has to come down? Today I don't see that. No, but they even increase the prices without you noticing it. And nobody talks about fuel increases in this country.
You drive, I do.
Of course, but you and I know, but you know what? It was like that, and then this nobody can change. Master, I know where. But I am saying is that what can government do about it?
Right.
Tell me. It didn't start today. The rationalization of the petroleum present. It didn't start today. And I think we have left petroleum politics in this country for about 6-7 years today.
Is accusing that it was as a result of squandering the state's money on the 2020 elections. That's how come you have to find ways and means of increasing fuel and introducing.
No, you can only increase fuel prices when new taxes are introduced into the pump prices. That let go and do the distance. The taxes that we put there as a country. That is why we are paying fuel. Why we are paying?
When I mean, what are you introducing those taxes on? Fuel.
But so which government did they in their press conference? Did they tell you that they will not increase or they didn't increase taxes? Is that what you are telling me?
Taxes are becoming too much. You mean you introduced over 21 taxes?
No, but that is it. But you need revenue. Let's be very sincere. You need revenue to develop.
Right.
And without the revenue, how can you develop the country? If we want, so the government should stop collecting taxes and the country become a standstill.
Let me come to Honorable for us to wrap up. All right, thank you so much. But you've not told the good people of Ghana the situation of the cedi to dollar rate, and all of that, because that played a major role in the 2016.
Justice, but sometimes when you should always know the details, and then we can prepare. No, but when you generalize it, it's generalized. But when we'll discuss about that one later. I beg you, we'll discuss about it later.
6.005.
No, that one you can just Google and get it. You can Google and get it.
6 as compared to somewhere 2016 when it was 3.9 thereabout. So I have the fact. Now, Honorable, you would want to respond to some few things Mujib said.
You see, I wanted to go to our area rules. He knows, and you stopped me.
He has to deal with the economic.
Senior brother, the rules and highway.
No, but don't say when you when you say that you are not when you say that you are not
no, you have been in government. No. What did you do about it?
No, I'm coming.
What
are you talking about? What are you talking about? You are not. No. We are talking about. When you say you are when you were talking, I kept quiet. When you were talking, I kept quiet. No. It's not correct. It's not correct. What are you talking about? Go ahead. It's not any correcting that you are correcting.
No. I know. Saying as if maybe you were telling this and we came and stopped.
Justice. When my brother was speaking, I allowed him.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
You go.
First of all,
but we are all guilty of our road.
No, me, I'm not guilty, and then this government is not guilty. Any road in the region, the people of the region know that it is NDC who always built roads for Upper West. You know that. What have you done in the region?
That is a topic.
What have you done in the region? As far as our roads are concerned. And okay, first of all, we are talking about hardship.
Yes.
And I am surprised. My brother here is saying that we should not do politics with fuel. For pricing. When you, at the time, His Excellency, the Vice President, MOHAMMED was in opposition as a running mate. No, you can check on his Twitter. You can still get those messages.
Very well.
He kept complaining any time fuel prices were increased. Today, when you want to talk about fuel prices, you say government doesn't control fuel prices. If the ESLA levy, if you want to, lessen the burden of this people, the people of this country, ESLA levy that you cried, you made all manner of noise out of that when you were in opposition. You said to the people of Ghana that when given the note, you were going to take it off. Today, we are still paying ESLA levy. You understand? And you don't want me to talk about increment of fuel when on daily basis you talked about managing our cedi to dollar or dollar to cedi.
Former President John Dramani Mahama making a statement on the state of the economy is guilty because Ghanaians were not living in luxury.
No, we never said that. No. You see why we are saying this? When John Dramani Mahama was in power, a good leader, it is the person that is able to confront challenges when there are challenges.
Right.
When we were faced with the energy crisis, we all saw how His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, at the time, approached the situation. He took drastic measures to ensure that we were able to confront the challenges. You understand? This is what we are talking about, leadership. Is that what we are seeing now? I saw him blame the hardship on COVID. In fact, today, in the NPP government today, if you are unable even to perform in your bedroom, they will attribute that to COVID.
Right.
Anything that is happening in this country, they will tell you that for COVID, we will be able to do ABCD. And I'm telling you, the same challenges that we were confronted with, the energy crisis in this country, because a lot of people lost their jobs. People lost their businesses during the energy crisis because people could not pay fuel to generate power to be able to do their businesses. And so therefore they were compelled to lay off workers, just like COVID, because people cannot come to work. Some companies, some organizations are compelled to lay off workers. It's the same challenge. And so John Mahama took a bold decision, and not even a single policy that he implemented during the energy crisis, that these people, they said all manner, they were coming to cancel off, not even a single one has been cancelled. Not even a single one. You understand? Yet he never blamed any of his failure on the issue of the energy crisis. You understand? Okay. Today, they don't want us to talk about the fuel price. Is that what he's saying? If government is sensitive and really think about the people of this country, government should be able to absorb, if for nothing at all, at least the ESLA levy, to be able to reduce fuel prices so that prices of goods and services can equally reduce.
Right.
Go to Malata Market, go to Medina, go to Connection. How much? Today, he's from my region. A bag of corn, which was sold at 80 Ghana cedis in 2016, today is sold at 380 Ghana cedis. 380 Ghana cedis. You remember I sat in this same program and I said that a bag of corn was sold at 200 Ghana cedis.
Right.
They said all manner of things against me because I was lying. Today it's 380 Ghana cedis. A price of fertilizer 50 kg, NPK. People are even looking for fertilizer to buy. They cannot even get fertilizer to buy.
Right.
It costs a farmer to buy a bag of fertilizer, 200 Ghana cedis, something that was sold at 80 Ghana cedis or less. And you don't want us to talk about the hardship. You want to blame everything on COVID.
Right.
What has COVID done in terms of paying suppliers that imported fertilizer last year? You remember on your show, somewhere about 2 months ago, I said it here, myself and Saka, and I told him that we are unable to get fertilizer because government at the time did not pay the suppliers who imported fertilizer last year.
Very well.
And he said that he heard you. He said I was not saying the truth, and that is a reality. You saw the agri minister. What kind of country? I mean, if we were in a serious country, somebody like the honorable minister for agri should be fired. How can you come and tell me that it is people? Is it donkey trucks and whatever that they use to smuggle fertilizer to Burkina Faso? And you, as a minister, who has the oversight responsibility of that sector, coming out to tell us this, and what are you doing about it? And such a person, as we speak, is still at post. And when you have a president, anytime given the opportunity to mount a podium, these are people he calls and praise them, his hardworking ministers and all of that. But brother, nothing is working in this country. Until the people of Ghana rise up and all, let us come together and change this government. In fact, you and your siblings, your children tomorrow will come and be chasing you with cutlasses because they expected you at the time to stand for the truth. And you refuse to do it because the kind of Ghana this country is building for our future generation, it's so bad. And we must rise up as citizens and ensure that we let the people of Ghana know the truth so that come 2024, we ask them to just go so that we'll be able to hold them for whatever money they spend. We can hold them accountable for all the mess that they are causing. That is why His Excellency John Mahama is saying that until we will be able to hold them accountable, the only mechanism is to vote them out of office come 2024. And that is what, as a political party, we are currently advocating, and we are not just doing propaganda. We say it with the facts. We say it with the fact, now, the corruption, the hardship that is happening currently.
If we talk of economic hardship, the Vice President, my final question, then I wrap up. The Vice President, in one of his, submissions, talked about the fact that if you look at management of the CD, they have done
which Vice President are you talking about?
Than any other government under the Fourth Republic.
My brother.
Now, what he's saying, when you look at it, its management percentage-wise, they have done very well, and he has equated what they are obtaining.
You know Agama Lizard?
They are watched.
You know Agama Lizard?
As compared to other regimes.
You know Agama Lizard? You know
Agama Lizard.
When it falls from the sky, you still see it will fall, pop, on the ground. You see Agama Lizard still placing itself for falling. And that is typical of Bawumia. And so for me, I will not even want to say anything about Bawumia because all the things Bawumia has been saying, it has always turned out to be lies. I will not even respond to Bawumia because he is such, I don't know the kind of vice president he is. Bawumia said all manner of things. You remember when he spoke about every Ghanaian by the end of 2018 would have bank accounts. We have to get all Ghanaians. I don't get it. And sometimes I sit down and ask myself, what is wrong with my ankle? And so me, I will not respond to this saying that Bawumia says that they've managed the economy in terms of percentage-wise and all of that. Is that what he told us when he was in opposition? Was he talking about percentage-wise? When he says that at the time that he knew that there was money at Bank of Ghana, and when given the opportunity, they were going to ensure that things where they wouldn't depend on borrowing. Today we have about 300-something billion Ghana cedis.
Let's get going.
To pay as debt. They've borrowed than any other government. in the history of our Fourth Republic, even starting from Kwame Nkrumah, they have always they've been borrowing. Right. And the borrowing,
we have to go on.
I mean, let's find time to really talk about the economic issue so that I can prepare well to come and debate my brother. Okay. And we'll talk about the Upper West rules. He says that when Honorable Alaji Engineer Amidu, when he was given the opportunity, all the rules in the region currently that your government terminated the contracts were awarded by Engineer Alaji Amidu. The road from Wa to Tumu, what are you talking about? My constituency, you terminated. I am terminated. It will not be fair to Honorable Alaji. In my constituency, Bolu to Jeffisi, I have the letter